I recently just finished reading a book and I have my book notes with me right here. The book that I finished reading recently is Jesus and John Wayne: How White Evangelicals Corrupted a Faith and Fractured a Nation. This is a very interesting non-fiction book that I read recently. It's historical, it's political, and it's got a lot of social commentary in it. The entire book is an account of the last 75 years in the US and how evangelicalism has kind of influenced the culture and the politics throughout those 75 years. It talks about how the faith ends up turning towards this idea of this very intense, rugged masculinity as being kind of the focal point and center point of most of their values. The book also talks about all the key players who were involved, whether in politics, social culture, or pop culture. I had no idea how much of an influence somebody like John Wayne had in all of this to begin with. It gives you a lot of insight as well on the current face of the Republican Party in the US and where it all kind of came from. I'm somebody who really loves to read about history, especially when I look at history from the lens of how it is affecting us today. And this book does just that. There were so many really interesting things that I learned as I was reading this book. It kind of dives into like the nitty-gritty of like US politics and social culture, specifically through the lens of faith. I think history books are excellent resources to help us kind of understand the world better. I think this book really carries a lot of weight, but what I really liked about this book is how it really kind of highlighted how faith can be skewed to promote certain agendas. This book also shows and highlights how some of these systems are rooted in toxic masculinity and patriarchy, but also in really corrupted systems. And I think if you're a nonfiction reader who really likes to learn about history, or even trying to get an idea on what's happening in the current events of our world today, this is a really good book to look into.